Well, you had a pretty big role in the movie The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. Is that something that you get recognized for a lot?
You know, I don't get recognized for a lot of my work. Certainly the Star Trek stuff, because, of all the makeup. Rarely is it the person who just recognizes my voice and goes, dude, you're that guy. No, every once in a while someone will recognize me for Frighteners, but even there, I don't really walk around with my hair that way, Hitler Youth, and I don't stick things behind my ears to make them stick out, and I don't wear black contact lenses that really make me look like I took 20 tabs of acid and never came back. None of that's in my daily rundown, you know what I mean? So what I get more is kind of people look at me and they're not quite sure that maybe they know me or they had some sort of an encounter with me, but usually it's a sense of dis-ease, like if they did have an encounter with me, like maybe it wasn't good, or or was I in prison with this guy? I'm not sure, just something they can't quite put it together. So that's okay. That's okay. I live in suburbia. I find that, I live outside of L.A., and I find that the closer I get into L.A. and the more center to the center of L.A., the more I'm recognized. I'd also say that I think sometimes I'm completely unaware that people might recognize me. And my wife will say, that guy knew who you were. And I go, he did? I don't think so. She goes, oh, yeah, he did. I went, really? My radar's not really attuned to all of that.
Well, you said you typically don't get recognized for your voice at all, but haven't you done some voice work on cartoons and stuff, like Transformers?
Yeah, I've done a few. In fact, most recently, it hasn't even aired yet, but it will very soon, is I was cast in the new Transformers animated series, which begins on the Hub network. It's a new network. I think Discovery Kids flipped over into the Hub, and sometime within the next month or so, I'm really not sure, Transformers. We've done 26, and we're already picked up for a second season. So we start recording new episodes in December. So I suspect that going forward, there'll be a whole generation of 8-year-old boys who will recognize my voice. I hope, anyway. It'll be kind of cool.
Isn't that network owned by Hasbro? So I suppose you'll be...
It's half owned. They went into partnership with Discovery Channel and changed it to the Hub. And yeah, it's Hasbro, as is Transformers. That whole franchise owned by Hasbro. So this is sort of their mothership sort of series. And by the way, I play Ratchet. If anybody cares.
Okay.
About it. There's legions of people who care about it.
Yeah. Now you're going into a whole nother area here with the action figure crowd.
Yeah, I know. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like, but I'm up for it.
The residual check should keep you going until you retire.
Well, I'll tell you what keeps me going is standing next to Peter Cullen, who does Optimus Prime, who plays Optimus.
Yeah.
And then right next to him is Frank Welker, who plays Megatron and Bumblebee and every other voice and permutation you can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is everywhere. I went in and did a episode of Scooby-Doo, and there he is. He plays 2 roles on that show, so including being Scooby. Oh! So he's just everywhere, and so I'm with legends here. I'm just standing there going, wow.
Yeah.
This is great. Because, man, Peter Cullen opens his mouth and my body vibrates. I'm honored to be a part of that.
Well, is there anything else you're working on besides Transformers and the mold voiceovers?
I also do the beginning of last year, or I should say the middle of last year, I put together with Stuart Gordon and Dennis Paoli, the writer and director of Re-Animator and many other things. We put together a one-man show that I do of Edgar Allan Poe. It's called Nevermore, An Evening with Edgar Allan Poe. And we basically compile poetry, a story, and just culled from his writings, his essays, even some of his stories, and we put together an evening where, in sort of a recital format, where we kind of hopefully bring Poe to life. And last year I opened it. I opened it a little bit after 4th of July, and for a 4-week run, and I wound up closing just before Christmas. I mean, it just exploded, and kept getting extended, and I've had the honor of taking it to Baltimore at the beginning of this year, I guess, in January for his birthday celebration. I performed it in a cathedral adjacent to where he's buried. I've taken it to Montreal. I took it to Austin. I'm going back down to San Diego where I did it earlier this year. So it has really evolved into sort of a lovely little enriching evening, I hope. I mean, it's not your typical evening. It certainly starts that way, but Poe being Poe, nothing goes as planned. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Anybody cares to check out that or where it's playing next, or if they're interested in us bringing it to them, they can go to my website, jeffreycombs.com, and there's all kinds of links there to articles that were written, reviews. There's even a kind of a highlight reel there. You can kind of buy a little 5-minute little demo, clip reel that you can kind of get an idea of what it's like. So,
okay.
Very proud of that.
That's at jeffreycombs.com?
Yeah, that's easy to remember, huh?
Okay. Well, let's talk about your appearance coming up here at Crypticon in Bloomington.
Yeah, Crypticon. I have never been to Minneapolis before, so I'm looking forward to it. So if anybody wants to come out and say hey and ask me about House of Re-Animator one more time, bring it on. So, I'll be there. I'll be there, and looking forward to it. So,
is there any rules about what we can bring to have signed? Can we bring Transformers and Star Trek memorabilia?
I'm not sure how much of the Transformers stuff is apropos for me, because since my permutation of the character hasn't even aired yet, so I'm not sure how topical that'll be for me. But yeah, sure, just don't bring me any real severed arms or legs. I don't think I could handle that.
Okay.
I've signed a number of things, and the weirdest thing I've ever signed was, and this has happened maybe a half a dozen times, from Texas to Montreal, is people have tattoos of me, like on their leg or something, and would you sign my tattoo of you?
Wow. So then you can get your name tattooed on them? And...
Yeah, well, that happened. One guy said, my tattoo guy says what you should do is sign this piece of paper, see, and then I can go to him and he will copy it. So somewhere out there on some dude's leg, is the prototypical Re-Animator shot with the needle signed by me.
Wow.
I know. That's
Signed
what I
for
say.
life.
Like, wow. Or I say, really? Why? That means like when you're going to be 86 years old and like you decide like maybe you didn't like Re-Animator anymore, you're stuck with my gob. Are you kidding?
Try to talk him out of it, huh?
I know. Don't do it. For God's sakes, don't do it.
Well, I already got it. Your whole face is on my back, so
come on.
I'll see it.
Come on, don't even tell me that's nightmarish.
It can be a little creepy at times, but
It's really, yeah. Anyway, it's a manifestation of people's expression of their enthusiasm for the movie and for that time in their life, and so I get it, but I wouldn't do it, but I get it.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a lot of fun. Do you have any parting words for us before we let you go?
No, just everybody come to Crypticon so I can, we can meet and greet and say hey, and I I'm really looking forward to that part of the country, and I do a lot of traveling, but for some reason I've never been there. And so everybody come on down. I really appreciate, all my fans, and hope we have a good, fun weekend. Okay?
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, great, guys. I really appreciate it. It was a fun interview, and if you get a chance, come on down and say, hey, introduce yourselves to me, okay?
All right. Thanks so much for letting us talk with you.
You bet, and I'm glad we could finally get together, and don't take it personally because I didn't respond for a while there.
Oh, no, not at all. See, you've got a lot of stuff going on. We just kind of sit around a lot, so we had plenty of time to keep emailing you.
Oh, well, I don't know. Talk to my wife. She doesn't think I do enough. So.
All right. Well, hopefully see you there. Thanks for talking with us.
Okay, guys. Have fun.
All right. Thank you.